done now.
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking at you, give me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
And he joins us right now. So excited to talk to him as always, talking about Growing Belushi Season 3 on Discovery right now. The show's namesake is here, Jim Belushi. Jim, how are we doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good right now, thank you. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. You know what? I want to talk. There's so much to talk about with Growing Belushi. Season 3 out right now. You can watch it on Discovery. For people who don't know, this show kind of came about because you bought a farm in Oregon. Dan Aykroyd says maybe you should grow marijuana on it. You say, sounds like a great idea. You get involved in the industry, and now here we are in Season 3. I wanted to ask, what for you was the most important part of putting the show on television and documenting what you were doing? And has the show changed anybody's mind about marijuana, about cannabis, who may have been on the other side of the fence and now is more open to it?
Well, that's really a good question because the truth is it's been a journey. That's why it's called Growing Belushi. It's not just growing cannabis. It's about me growing as a man alongside this wonderful plant medicine. It's really changed me and the way I look at things, and it's changed my physicality. I mean, I sleep better. I don't even use like Ambien or Xanax or even Advil anymore. I just use a microdose a little bit, take a little hit or a little piece of a gummy. So I just manage with it. I'm not like a stoner, by the way. I just not crazy, that way. But my main purpose of the show was to create confidence in cannabis. I think people that are interested and are starting to see results from people, everybody knows somebody who's struggling. And whether it's through chemotherapy or PTSD or anxiety, and they've seen them use cannabis and have results, and they're starting to be curious. You can see it. 37 states legalize cannabis, whether it's medical or recreational, and they want to explore it. So my show is really about, it's very funny, first of all, but it's about showing you how it's grown, how to use it, how safe it is, the testing, the histories, and it's bringing people along with understanding like, this is not some drug guy standing on a corner selling pot. This is like almost medical grade. The FDA is looking at it. There's tons of research finally starting with cannabis and helping with the endocannabinoid system and creating a homeostasis in the body. It's really done some beautiful things for people, and so I'm trying to show that in Growing Belushi.
And I think that you do a good job of it.
And it's funny. It's really funny. My cousin and I are really funny in it.
No, the show is great. I've watched the show since the first season and really enjoyed it. And you're right, though. I think that the education of it is there in the show, and you kind of get to watch it as you kind of laugh through it all and through your pitfalls of being a farmer. Here's the thing. My wife and I bought a house about a year and a half ago after we got married, and we're in the gardening now. We're trying here, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm asking you, what are the biggest pitfalls?
Tell me about it, man.
That's what I'm asking you.
Tell me about it, man. I feel like a cross between Elmer Fudd and Bill Murray in Caddyshack. I didn't realize there's grasshoppers, aphids, rustic mites. Deer come and eat this stuff. Of course they come and eat this stuff. That's why they're so happy all the time, jumping around over fences. I got gophers. I'm like, I run around that property with like a shotgun, shooting them in the air to scare things away. I mean, I got hawks. Farming is a bitch.
It's hard.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's science. It really is science. That's why in Growing Belushi, I kind of show the science behind it so people see how careful these growers and how seriously they take growing this plant.
What is, though, like the one thing that you've taken? What is the one thing, though, that you have, I guess, learned the most? That is the like, wow, I would have never thought about that going into this. This is the number one thing that really surprised you.
Oh God, there's so many of them. I mean, the temperature of the soil. If it's 62 degrees, that allows the micronutrients in the soil to absorb into the roots easier. There's the amount of humidity that there's mold, there's powdery mildew. There's so many things that you have to be careful about when you grow anything. And the main thing is what kind of nutrients you're using, and also the pesticides you use to protect the plants. I mean, there's a beautiful pesticide called neem, which was used in India for, hundreds of years that a lot of growers use. That's very organic and doesn't hurt the plant and doesn't transfer into the plant. Now, it doesn't really kill everything, but it helps protect things. The pesticides is the number one thing that you have to watch for, and the metals in the soil, because people are ingesting this, and you want to make sure when they're ingesting something that it is great for their body and their mind. So the number one thing I learned is how do you do pest management without using any kind of chemicals? And you got to grow side crops alongside that attract bees, and the bees, eat the mites, and there's all kinds of stuff about. Like you're going to grow tomatoes, you're going to see a lot of things wanting to take your tomato before you do. So what do you put on it? And there's a lot of nutrients out there that have GMO effects. You don't want any of that on your plant.
No, and you know what? That's what we're trying to figure out, and that's what we're figuring out by watching Growing Belushi. We're getting to the nitty-gritty of how to be a farmer, and we're learning it from the great Jim Belushi. Season 3 airing right now on Discovery. I have to ask you this, Jim, because during the pandemic, we're all in the house. We're trying to find stuff to watch, and my wife and I stumbled across a film that is now in our favorites, and it's in our rotation. I've heard you say that The Godfather and Casino are movies that you go and you rewatch. Well, I rewatch one of yours all the time, and it's the Eugene Levy directed Once Upon a Crime. And every time I tell people about this movie,
God, you saw that? Hardly anybody has seen that. That is such a funny movie.
it is so great. It is a murder mystery comedy crime caper that takes place in a casino and all abroad. I love the movie. Can you talk to me about what your memories are of it, and do you enjoy it as much as I do?
Oh my God, I did it with John Candy.
Yeah.
The original Joy Boy, man. I did 5 weeks in Monte Carlo and Rome with John Candy. I mean, there's that scene where we're running through the casino, we're betting, and we're moving, and we're betting, and we're winning. And you see John and I throw up the chips and laugh. That was real. Candy had me laughing my ass off. He was so fun. Oh, my God, what a fun movie that was, man. I can't believe you saw that.
Oh, it's so great. I mean, the cast is great, too. You, Sybil Shepherd, Richard Lewis is in it, John Candy. It's a great cast. It's a great movie. If no one's ever seen Once Upon a Crime before.
Giancarlo Giannini. Giancarlo Giannini, he's the detective. I love the scene where He goes, "Where were you the night last night between 12 and 12:30?" And John Guinea goes, "Well, I was making passionate love to my wife, and she was going crazy, and I could hear the neighbors scream, 'Hey, quiet down there! Don't you know it's between 12 and 12:30?'"
Great movie. Oh my God.
Goes, "Yeah." Oh, it's so funny. There's so many good jokes in that movie.
I love it. Once Upon a Crime is it's such a great movie, and Growing Belushi is such a great show. Season 3 right now on Discovery. Jim, thanks so much for joining us this morning, and thanks for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you for your support, man. And I know Texas is going to come along with medical marijuana in the future. If not, you got Oklahoma and New Mexico. You got to just drive across the border.
Well, there you go. Jim Belushi, everyone. Jim, thanks again.
God bless you, man. Thank you.
Hurry up, tape running out.